So sit back and just roll up. Perfect show for my smokers. True buds. Hey.
Now, I had a question, with maybe somebody trying to break into the industry to get like a sales gig like I was 2 years ago, maybe something not, a starting out sales position. How important is it to you that they have a cannabis sales background, or they come with a book of, clients potentially? Because I noticed when I was trying to break in, I was having some trouble and pushback because I didn't have my roster of clients. And that's where the beverage thing helped me, because it was like a beverage gig in cannabis. So I'm just curious what your advice or kind of thoughts would be for somebody breaking in.
Breaking in specifically to find a sales role working for a brand.
Yeah, sales or marketing or something in that, kind of that stream.
Yeah, I mean, I think sales in California is a freaking knife fight, and most of the times companies want from FlowerHire, if we're supporting on those roles, they want somebody with a book, with established contacts. We have seen that some of the companies that have more established brands and processes have started to look for traditional kind of field sales experience and like be okay with just a good old fashioned hustler. My opinion is that companies are kind of all over the place in what they're looking for. And it's all about building relationships, being passionate about a product and hustle, because even if you have relationships with buyers, the buyers probably change every 3 months anyway, and it doesn't matter. Right. And I think there's this, and that being said, dispensaries are, in general, it's fairly tribal, it's a lot of SMB. I think there's been retail consolidation in California for sure, but there's still, the average buyer is buying for one location or maybe two or three. So, I think that for anyone looking at the industry, I think, going to events, connecting with people on LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn is very supportive of the cannabis industry as a social media platform, which is awesome. I think that, make it known that you're trying to break into the industry, connect with people working in the industry, talk to them, ask them their advice, ask their feedback, because what's crazy about cannabis, people actually will help. There's still this sense of community here, right? And I've hired people at FlowerHire from just seeing how well they've marketed themselves looking for a job that didn't have recruiting experience, right? So I think that that's, another thing. And also the other piece of advice is it's really hard to look at cannabis apples to apples versus other industries as it relates to career ladder. I think we're programmed in society to look at career in a very linear way. I'm an employee, I'm a supervisor, I'm a manager, I'm a director, I'm a VP. In cannabis, it's really about just getting something in your lane, because, even if you even have like a manager title, you probably have more strategic responsibility than you've ever had in most companies. And there's also just the story of like, just get in and get a job and learn and meet people in the industry. Like, there's a true story. Like, one of my favorite stories is I have a friend who was a lawyer, corporate attorney, didn't really like the work he was doing, got a second job working a couple nights a week at a dispensary in Hollywood, met somebody who was a customer. They started a cannabis company. That cannabis company was acquired by Columbia Care for $80 million, not less than 3 years later. Right. So sometimes it's just about being in the industry and meeting people. Like, that's a real story. Right. Now, I would advise anyone that this isn't a get rich quick industry, and don't approach it like that, because you'll be disappointed. This is a chance to get into an industry that you can live the American dream, in a sense of you can work your way up over the course of time by working hard and meeting people and learning your craft, because cannabis still needs to hire hundreds of thousands of people in the next 5 to 10 years that have never worked professionally in cannabis before. Right. So that fast track career growth, there's lots of stories of people taking a $16 an hour position in some part of a cannabis operation that they learn of an open job that's there through growth. They are a hard worker. They put their hat in the ring for that manager job, and all of a sudden they're making 75K. And then they have the chance to move up from there. Right. So, you can't look at it as I'm entitled to make this. Now, California is an expensive place. You got to make a living. Totally understand why we work. And I know it's not feasible for people. Right. But, I think that those are just some of the advice. And, on our website, flowerhire.com, if you click on learn, there's a lot of, where you go back and there's a bunch of blog posts about crafting a resume for cannabis, tips for getting a job, how to keep up to date on industry news and what's happening, some examples of that.
This is True Buzz, that Mary J. Now we ain't new to this. For my stoners and for my cannabis enthusiasts, never heard a show as good as this. Number one, it's the best, bringing in many special guests in the industry of cannabis. Business owners to growers, even artists you know of. So sit back and just roll up. Perfect show for my smokers. True Buzz, ayy.